Welcome to Books and Boulders, the podcast where we take a break from climbing, sit back, and dive into the world of adventure books.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Books and Boulders, your adventure reading podcast. For now, adventure reading, but welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Melanie.
And I'm Tiffany, and it sounds like Melanie is trying to shift the theme of the podcast to non-adventure reads.
I'm not saying that. I feel like we've talked about just like, what are we going to read next? Is it going to be fiction? Is it going to be nonfiction? Is it going to be da da da? So I guess that's more so what I meant is like, is it real adventure or fictional adventure? But
it's whatever we want. That's all I'll say. It's our world.
That's nice. I need a world that I can create myself because
And
the real
control.
world is starting to wear me down, but it's cool. How are you on this Friday afternoon?
Well, I'm cold.
Okay. Hence
But
the
I'm not,
beanie and the
I'm not,
cardigan.
right. I'm in a cardigan. I got the beanie rock. Like, I am, I am tired of being cold. Like, I'm tired. Like, that and the lack of sun. I feel like I'm in this, like, positive, upbeat trajectory, but I'm also sleepy all the time. And I have
Yeah.
no real reason to be sleepy. I'm not out there climbing 514s. I'm not climbing 4 or 5 days a week. I'm not even working out 3 days a week. Like I am just, but I'm tired
Yeah.
all the time. And I'm tired of being tired. And
Yeah.
I want
The
that.
circadian rhythm is real. Like it's a real thing. Yeah.
That is how I am. So, and I've been going outdoors to
Hmm.
things.
Nice.
Like I went out last night and
Like nature outdoors or just
no,
outside of your
sorry,
house?
sorry. Just leaving the house.
Oh,
No.
okay. Nice.
Nature outdoors is like a different level of outside because, like,
Yeah.
you're going to get warm, your body's going to move, you dress for it. But, like, just going out to meet with people. I went to like an art show
Mm.
and then we walked around trying to find something to eat, and it's New York. So, it's just cold and I'm just tired. I don't
Mm.
know. And it's funny because I still don't know that I could live somewhere full time that is hot all the time.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with fall, but
Mm.
like where can I live where the sun at least I just need a smooth 8 hours of sun all the time, year round. Where can I
Mm.
get that? Can someone let me know? Because that's where I need to be living.
I mean, depending on the time of year, I feel like somewhere like Alaska, or like the very tippy top of the of the world.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. Because I ain't trying to go north. So I can tell you right now, I'm trying to go south. And I realized I haven't been to South America. And I don't know if I realized that with you or someone else,
Mm.
but I need to go to South America.
Mm.
Not that I'm like on this, oh, I need to tackle every continent, but I
Mm.
really want to go to South America.
Yeah.
So yeah, that,
When I lived
I
in
don't know.
Indiana, I don't recommend living in Indiana. I mean, no shade to people
I
who
lived
live
in
in,
Missouri, so that's close enough.
but
No thanks.
for what I've learned about Indiana, no, thank you. But when I was in Indiana, I spent like a summer there. Um, and the days, I guess because of like where it is in the United States and how it's kind of on the margin between time zones, like the days in the summertime, the sun didn't really go down until like 9:30 at night. And that was pretty sweet. uh, but yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think more about that. It also is so hard because it's probably not going to be consistent year round. Someone who knows about like geography and like, I don't know,
Anywhere in the
the
world that's
rotation of
not
the
cold
earth.
all the time,
Yeah.
preferably. If
Yeah.
that's not a thing, fine. Fine.
California, the Mediterranean? I don't know. Yeah.
No, I will not. Between wildfires and earthquakes and
Mm.
traffic, California is a forever hard pass for me. I mean, here's the thing. I don't love the cold and I don't love New York, and I definitely don't love the transportation system.
Really?
But I do love that I can not be in traffic if I want to and get on a train
Yeah.
or hop on a bike. Like I do
Yeah.
like that it at least caters to other forms of transportation, whereas LA, Cali is like drive, 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 drive.
Yeah.
And if you know me, I hate all things car. I hate being in a car. I hate, except for music in a car. That's like the only pro that I
Yeah.
enjoy is like listening to music on a really nice sound system in a car. But otherwise, keep me out of car.
Hmm.
And
That is
that's
so.
kind of ironic because I actually low key thought about doing van life about 5 years
Yeah.
ago. So
Hmm. Yeah.
that would have been fun for someone. That's not me. But yeah, that's how I'm doing. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm good. No new developments. I am thinking about joining a climbing gym, which I know sounds crazy. I will wait until our final episode next time to let you know if I do that or not. But I am
Nice.
going to take a look at
Yeah.
a gym on Monday
Nice.
because it is by a place that I will now be frequenting.
Hmm.
So we'll see. How are you?
Okay. How how am I? I don't know if anyone's ever seen Broad City. There's like
That was
a
a great show. Or I
scene
enjoyed
where
it.
yeah, I do too. There's a scene where Alana's like on the train and she's just or not on the train. I had two competing thoughts. I saw Alana on the train once and I wanted to say hi because I was like, oh my God, Alana Glazer, you're so cool. But she looked like, don't fucking
Talk to
talk to
me.
me.
Yeah.
Like, that was her whole face. And I was like, cool, noted. It was nice to see you. um, but yeah, there's like a scene on the show where she's like, "How am I?" And that's like how I feel right now. Yeah, I am, I am okay. I am alive, and that is something. So,
You're looking at the
yeah.
bright side. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just going through it with work. It's pretty intense time right now at my job, but yeah, I'm happy it's Friday. And I get to pretend that work doesn't exist for 2 days, so that's nice. And on Monday, I'll probably feel like I'm suffocating again, but it's fine. At least I can delay that feeling for a couple of days, so that's cool. And yeah, I'm also really happy that next week is going to be a super short week. It'll probably be intense, but I really only have to work Monday and Tuesday, so that's nice. And yeah, I'm like starting to get kind of stoked about climbing again, which is kind of
Yay.
cool. Um, just trying to like, yeah, really, I don't know. I'm just feeling excited about it. Did some leading yesterday, and I'm feeling like ooh, I can like start to identify like parts of my body that like weaknesses and areas of my body that I want to train and like techniques that I want to train. And so I'm like starting to get all like excited about like just the idea of training and that sort of thing. So that feels good. And yeah, just really excited about movement in general. I don't know if I mentioned Monday, but I started roller skating or
Hmm.
I'm like trying to teach myself to roller skate.
Yeah.
And yeah, I went last Saturday and my inner thighs are still sore as hell from Saturday. Like it's just like I guess a muscle that I just don't use. Like I walk, I hike, I climb, I do all these things, but here's a new part of my legs that I just like apparently never use. So yeah, my legs are super in pain, but it's fine. It's cool to be, I don't know. It's cool to be like discovering new things about my body and I'm just like fascinated by physiology and the mechanics of movement and all of that. So yeah, that's been bringing me like joy and intrigue lately. So
Oh,
yeah,
good.
yeah,
I'm glad. It's nice to hear about people leading.
yeah. I'm
Oh, the good old
yeah,
days.
yeah. But didn't you lead recently or no? I don't know why I thought you said you were in the gym. You said you climbed in 11, but maybe you didn't lead it.
Yeah, I
Okay,
definitely top roped
okay,
a whole
okay, got
11.
it.
I will not. If
Yeah.
and mind you, I've never led in a gym.
Oh.
I don't have any lead certifications anywhere ever,
Hmm.
which some will say, that's why you got hurt.
Hmm. Is
Probably
it?
not.
I
It
don't
isn't.
think.
It isn't.
Yeah.
But but I say that with the caveat that I do agree that you should lead in the gym first. I actually would not advise just hopping straight outside just because you think you're superhuman.
Yeah.
Um, I do think there were some things that I could have learned that could have aided in that situation, but I don't think it would have prevented the outcome.
Hmm.
So I think more experience climbing in or out before I did the lead that I did, and
Yeah.
more understanding about researching places before you climb them would have been
Hmm.
more beneficial than necessarily leading in a gym. Because
Yeah.
leading in a gym wasn't going to make me any more stronger than I already was or any more knowledgeable. But I think I would lead again in a gym
Hmm.
if I could ever pass the test, which
Yeah.
which I don't see because they make you fall and I'm not
Oh.
falling.
Yeah.
Unless it's into the abyss, I won't fall and like slam into a wall
Like an
type fall.
overhang. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
As far as outside though, I just don't have any desire to. I mean,
Hmm.
I can see the challenge in it, but I would rather do a grade that's 1 or 2 points harder than to lead
Yeah.
a
I
safe,
know.
like to lead a, I'd rather, yes, I would rather attempt a 5'11" outside than to
On
lead a
top
five
rope.
nine.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'd rather just top rope on something really hard and feel good that I can focus on the climb than focusing on
Yeah.
the technical and the climb. But that's me
For sure.
myself personally. So,
Yeah.
do what you do. I will do what I will do. But I do plan
Hmm.
for next year to be kind of like my official comeback. Now that
Nice.
I can jump almost properly
Mm-hmm.
and have been jumping and feeling good about the strength in my legs, I actually do think I'm gonna go outside and even dare I say plan a climbing trip, which was always like my,
Mm-hmm.
I got hurt on a birthday climbing trip because that was my annual thing. So now I think I need to like stop associating my birthday with getting hurt
Mm-hmm.
and climbing and go back climbing for my birthday. So
Yeah.
save the date, August, we're going to Squamish,
Oh my God, I
maybe
would be so down. Yeah, I would be
tentatively.
so down. Please let me know, literally anywhere. I'm down. I am super down. I want my lady crush crew.
Yeah. So
Um,
just
yeah.
that's where I'm at. But yeah, I'm excited to wrap up the season and figure out what's next. And I enjoyed this section in a
Yeah,
way.
in a
In
way.
a way.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it more than part three. I'll just say that.
yeah.
I think this felt more, it felt very story. Like it just felt more raw and a little bit less about relationships, but also equally as much about relationships. So it was
Mhm.
a real, I don't know. I really enjoyed it. So
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah, it was yeah, definitely a much more intense chapter. I just got so hungry all of a sudden. Ooh, I want food. Um, I am excited to find something to eat. But yeah, yeah, it was definitely like a more intense chapter section than last section. So yeah, I guess let's just dive in. I'll do
let's
like some
go.
recaps and then we'll chat. So yeah, part 4, I want to say we were at.
Hmm.
And yeah, chapter 13, kicking it off. It was titled No Picket Fence, and it's 2012. She's in Everest, Nepal. And so, yeah, after reflecting on the accident in Barunts and the loss of her friend Shawang, it seems like Melissa is finally kind of like becoming aware of some of the ways in which she needs to change. Like it just seems like that really hit hard for her, and she's just kind of like starting to realize like, yeah, okay, there's something here that I really need to address internally. And that's a good first step, but she kind of admits that she's not really ready to commit to any sort of actual change. And she starts dating John, who came up in the last chapter. We didn't get too into the conversation, but he came up. And I think in her own way, it was so funny to me. I feel like in her own way, she kind of like took her time with him. But she says she pushed him away for weeks. And I was like, that's not that long. I don't know like
Yeah.
how many weeks it was, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the factor that makes John different, not just that he's closer in age,
Hmm.
um, but I think he wanted something different from her than what she was used to, and he was not a stepping stone like all the others. He was
Yeah.
not going to get her somewhere else. So she didn't, I feel like if John was a climber or a guide or someone in that space, she would have successfully pushed him away.
Hmm.
I think because and also coming in when she's dealing with trauma,
Hmm.
and he also felt like somewhat, somewhat of a savior, like a savior complex type person, like, oh, I just want to heal her and fix her and not like try to change her, but it seemed like he relished in that because it
Yeah.
was obvious she wasn't like leaning into it, but he just kept. Whereas
Hmm.
I feel like some men would have just been like, nah, you look, I'm here. I said I'm here. You don't want it, then peace out. But it's just kind of interesting to me that he was so just like, I'm gonna fight
Persistent.
this
Yeah.
demon lady no matter what, because
He
I don't know how.
definitely,
Maybe she
yeah.
was nice in the beginning, but it didn't feel nice really at any point to me.
She doesn't seem like
No, no,
a nice
she's an extremely unhealed person. I
person.
won't say she's not nice, but
Yeah. I
unhealed,
tried so hard to reserve judgment this section, but I was like, mhm.
yeah, it was a little cringy, but unhealed people don't, they hurt people like that. It's
Yeah.
just, or what is it? Hurt
Hurt
people.
people, hurt people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I don't think she could have done anything else. I mean, and if he couldn't recognize that she was not really in a place to be in a relationship, let alone be married,
Yeah.
he also has some issues then because
Mhm.
me myself it would be like, look, you got to figure yourself out and figure out what you want, all these things before getting together. So, I think there's a
Yeah.
lot about him that we don't really know because we're only getting it from her perspective.
Right.
But I sense that he has his own kind of like issues with needing to be with someone or take care of someone or something. Because I
Yeah.
don't know on what earth anybody
Mm.
would have put up with what he put up with.
Yeah. 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 So she takes her time, a couple of weeks, to resist him, to resist his advances. And she ends up, becoming smitten. I was with you when you were like, okay, girl, whatever. Yeah, okay. Like I hear all the things that you're saying about why maybe he was different and she felt like this attraction was more sincere, but it's still giving an undertone of like, I feel like I need to be in a relationship. I feel like, I need the validation of a man or a romantic partner. Like, it still felt like some sense of her identity or worth, like perceived self worth, was like wrapped up in like her relationship status,
Yeah, she wanted
and
to be
just a
wanted.
form of avoidance. Yeah.
100%. I mean,
Yeah.
since she's a kid, she's wanted the
Yeah.
affection of someone because truthfully, at the end of the day, she didn't get it from her mom, and that
Yeah.
broke her. So she had to go find it in other things.
Yeah.
And I mean, I wish her dad's love was enough, but clearly it wasn't. And
Right.
as a mama's girl, like, I guess I can kind of understand how that can break a part of you.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know that she knows aloneness or wants to know it because it is
Yeah.
so traumatic for her.
And it's really interesting. I don't know, hearing you say that because I'm like, she doesn't know aloneness. She doesn't want to know it. But at the same time, she also runs away from like every opportunity to be with someone. And even like later on in like the chapter, she's like, I crave aloneness. And like, thank God, like I'm going back to Everest, I can finally be alone. So it's like this like push and pull of like
Yeah.
wanting affection and companionship, but also like not being like, I guess, afraid of it. Um, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I try like again, trying not to, I definitely like can empathize with a lot of the emotions that she's experiencing. But the way that she conducts herself, like I'm just like, I don't know. It's like, geez. And I like, I don't know. I'm sure like, right, this is a memoir. We're only getting like snapshots of her life. But even in her upbringing, like I don't know. I feel like we talked about this in the first section. Like it was like, I get that your mom maybe like wasn't the most warm person, but from the things that you described, at least like the or like the some of the aside from like the her mom locking her in the room, I was like, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, we were like, oh, what is where's the abuse again? Like where's the like severe neglect or mistreatment? And maybe just like her writing style, it left out some of those details, but I was just like, I guess at a certain point things got bad, and it's like hard because it's like a lot of the stuff a lot of the real trauma that she experienced was as a child, and so she was maybe just like reacting to certain situations and didn't have like a certain amount of guidance. But it was just like, what was so bad in your life that made you this way? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I do think I do think she genuinely experienced emotional abuse.
Yeah.
And I think what we have to keep in mind is that certain people aren't built to handle certain types of abuse. There are people who have been physically
Yeah.
abused and they don't physically abuse other people.
Right.
And then there's people who do,
Yeah.
you know.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
I don't think she was built to withstand that emotional abuse.
Right.
And
That makes sense. Yeah.
it's
Kind of a
just,
nature nurture thing.
yeah, I think almost like her sister who I guess didn't experience it because she had a different personality that didn't make her mom essentially hate her, you
Mm.
know. So I think, you know, it's her personality and then how her personality handles that style of love or unlove
Mm.
wasn't it was traumatizing and it had a ripple effect and we are seeing the ripple effect in this book. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like diminish her experience. Like, yeah, you said, I'm sure there's more. There's probably things she didn't even include
Right.
potentially. You
Yeah.
know, and so yeah, I don't think this just I don't think
Right.
there wasn't this isn't just a like a blanket reaction. Like this is a cause. All these actions were caused by
Right.
something, someone
Yeah.
or some action.
Right. And yeah, I guess, yeah, definitely not trying to diminish her experience. Like, I don't think people just become, I don't, well, I don't know. I mean, I do think that, like, there is a such thing as a psychopath. And I do think that, like, people can have, like, there's a empathy exists on a spectrum. But I do, yeah, I do think that, like, things have happened in her life that have led up to it. I wish I just had like deeper insight into like more of her upbringing and the experiences that shaped. Like I kind of get it, but based on what's provided here, it's hard for me to like see how not entirely, but based on what's provided here, at least from the very beginning, it's just like I don't know. I feel like there's context that um would be helpful in helping me understand her a little bit better. But
I
yeah,
think you have empathy, but you just can't really sympathize per se.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Me or her?
no, I'm saying
Yeah,
you have empathy for her,
yeah.
but I think it's harder for you to sympathize because it's kind of like, girl, stop. Like, just
Yeah. And I guess there's just yeah, like just certain elements of her life that I still feel like are like question marks that are having helping making it hard for me to connect the dots and like really get the full picture of who she is. But yeah, anyway, she and John decide that they're going to get together and she's like, "You got to wait a full season before you decide if you want to
four.
be with me." I thought she said, oh, 4 seasons?
Hmm.
So a year, but that's a
Yes.
year, right? Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, he has to rate a year, like they can talk and stuff like that, but like she wants him to like kind of just like wait for a year before he like really gets to know her, which also I get it, but like I don't know. I get it, but I'm like that also doesn't really feel like that long, especially when you're away for so much of it. I'm judging her. I'm sorry. It's
You know.
partially the mood that I'm in today.
Oh, oh, Melissa's catching strays. Catching strays because Melanie ain't having it today.
But anyways, long story short, she and John decide to give it a go. They're like, they're kind of head over heels. At least at the start. I think at the start she is genuinely into him, but she is also learning about herself, like that she does not readily open up to like a romantic partner, and that this is like now that she's I think giving a relationship like a sincere effort in ways that she maybe hasn't in the past. I think she's realizing just how hard it is for her to like truly be vulnerable and open up and like share and let somebody else in. And I think she's starting to just feel like she's playing a role again. Like I mentioned earlier, how she like kind of relishes in like when she can kind of like escape the relationship, go back to Everest and like put her guard back up. Like I think she's just like finding it physically exhausting to like be vulnerable to someone and with someone. And it's just interesting because it's like how long can she kind of like keep this up? Like how long can she pretend? uh or
Well,
just like
we will see.
yeah, yeah. So that's been like she's like in this relationship, and I think that there's like a part of her that really wants it and is excited about it, and then a part of her that is like, this is tiring, and I actually like crave the comfort and safety of just like putting these walls up and like closing myself off from everyone else. Um, so yeah. Um, but, towards the end of the chapter, she is heading out to Everest on another trip, spring 2012. I want to say this is maybe her fourth summit.
It was her fourth summit,
Yeah,
and it was with Dave.
Dave. I
And
like Dave.
Dave, he's one of the guys that works for that.
Oh, I know Dave. She don't,
Oh,
she
oh,
don't,
okay.
she don't really like, well, she's got a complicated relationship with
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Dave.
because Dave is kind of judgy and not really supportive.
Yeah.
I do think I did find it interesting the conversation surrounding marginalization and
Hmm.
her being marginalized for being a woman guide and him
Mm-hmm.
not supporting her
Mm-hmm.
when clients were essentially belittling her and questioning her skills and abilities as a guide.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, that did not help with their tumultuous relationship.
Right.
And it's kind of interesting because I think about all of her relationships in the context of her relationship with her parents and family.
Hmm.
And like I think they even say like they had um taken out a father daughter client and they had specifically requested a female guide.
Mm-hmm.
Um and she didn't really want to deal with him, but she did, and that ended up becoming one of the best experiences she'd ever had guiding clients. So,
Yeah.
he kind of took her under his wing and tried to help her, but I do think that there was just that extra man mentality that he just had, and I don't know. I just don't think he really wanted to see her win. It's just
Yeah. It doesn't sound like it because when her trip came to an end, he left. Like they were all supposed to head back to base camp. She decided to go off on her own. I think she just kind of needed some time to herself. So she decided to kind of like head back to base camp on her
yeah,
own and then,
hike
yeah,
back down.
right. And then
Thought she
meet
was
up
getting
with
a
them
head
there.
start.
Yeah, right. And then meet up with them there. And they got to base camp and just flew off without her and basically abandoned her in Nepal, which is who does that? Who does that? I don't, that's crazy. I have no idea what it takes to get back. I don't, first of all, I have a hard time wrapping my mind around like getting to Nepal versus like getting to like base camp versus like the different intermediary stops and like the tea houses and the camps along the way and then getting to like so I have a hard time mapping out in my mind like what leg of her journey that indicated that she was on. Um, but either way, I don't think transportation is just like you can't just call an Uber or like Uber an airplane out of there. So for them to leave her is like that feels so petty and just like messed up. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he was threatened by her or just intimidated.
Probably.
Who knows? Yeah,
I
most likely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I personally think very little about Dave in the context of all these characters. He's so
Right.
far on my list of people I care to
You ain't
think
nobody,
about.
babe. Nobody
Yeah.
think about you. But anyways, so she, I guess, maybe this was a crime of opportunity, but she,
A crime of opportunity.
because no, actually, she did end up connecting. I do remember reading that she connected, like wherever she landed, she ended up connecting with Dave and like
Hmm.
the rest of the crew. So,
Yeah, she did because
um,
they all went out to eat or whatever.
yeah, had lunch and
And,
stuff.
she was trying to like, oh, I'm gonna get dressed up. Like on the mountain, I'm trying to be, the same as the dudes, but down
Yeah,
here, like,
I'm a
no,
woman.
I wanna be different. I wanna show off
Right.
my body,
Yeah.
So
And so yeah, she's kind of like craving that attention and she cheats on John. She like
yeah,
texts one of her,
and
yeah,
they don't
colleagues.
expressly say that she cheated. It is
Mm,
very I like
do they not?
not until the next chapter
Okay.
does she actually admit. No,
Those words
it was
specifically.
heavily insinuated though. It was very
Right.
obvious. Like I too was like, okay, yep. I see what you did
Yeah.
there. You
I
know.
mean, right. Cause she's like, I went to his hotel room.
Hmm.
Like, this
Yeah.
happened, that happened. One thing led to another. I'm not going to say, yeah. And yeah,
And
she
then
doesn't
she
explicitly say
says,
it, but
yeah, I even like wrote the quote down of what she says that essentially tells you what she did without telling you what she did. But it
yeah.
says, it is easier to be the one who destroys things than to be destroyed. It is easier to run away than to find out that you're not lovable, even when you're trying so hard to be good.
Yeah.
So,
Right. Yeah. And then she also just admits, like, she says, I knew I would never tell John. And it's like, okay, well, what are you not telling him? um, on the last page of that chapter, she mentions that.
hmm.
But
But like I
yeah,
said
so,
again, but she didn't say what she did. It
right.
didn't necessarily,
She's, she's
it's
very
a lot of
crafty
things
with the
she could have
language.
done that she wouldn't
Yeah.
tell John. But obviously, we
Right.
know we're not stupid. And
Yeah.
even though this has, um, she's not wild. I'm losing my
Restraint.
yeah. She's
Yeah.
not Cheryl level, but it still wasn't surprising for me. I wasn't surprised that
Yeah.
she'd done this. Like people
No.
who like to destroy things. or maybe not like is isn't the right word, but people
Yeah.
who are self-destructive, like eventually they will get to this level. So
Right. Yeah. Same. Yeah.
I wasn't
Not totally
surprised.
surprising. Yeah. I'm disappointed. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed. um, but yeah, so that's kind of, I mean, that's more or less how our chapter ends. She does get head back home, and they're not even married yet, but it's evident that she's already pushing John away. Um, like she's, just I don't know. It's she what does she say? She's like she mentions that she's gonna go home and kind of pretend that everything is fine.
Yeah,
And she
and he
says that
would
she ended
accept
their
it.
honeymoon. Yeah, that she ended their honeymoon with him holding him at a distance and him accepting this as being a part of someone who lived half their life away on expeditions. And that's kind of just like where she's at. It's like, dang, y'all aren't even married yet, and you're already like, it just sounds like she's already checked
She
out.
was. She was
Yeah,
checked out before she even
like
checked
trying to
in, which is
pretend. Yeah,
crazy work. That
yeah,
to me is where I'm disappointed. Like,
yeah,
I'm actually her cheating before they're married. Okay, sure.
yeah,
Or newly married, whatever.
yeah.
But you knowing that you don't want this,
Hmm. Right.
like, be miserable and alone. Don't
Yeah,
bring this child down because, by all intents and purposes, he didn't seem like a bad guy.
yeah,
He seemed very emotional, maybe emotionally intelligent in some ways, maybe a little
mhm,
bit needy in some ways, but very supportive. Like he supported what she
yeah.
was doing. And like
He
I
was
said, I don't
excited
know a
about it.
lot. Yeah, I don't know a lot of men who would be okay with their significant
Yeah,
other being gone that much.
right.
And not, I'm not, I don't, it's not even about her being around other men. It's just like I
Physically
just
not here.
had this conversation with someone about long distance relationships and like, would you ever do that? And I'm just like, for a period,
Yeah,
but for years,
I don't
no.
think so. Yeah,
Like, uh,
yeah. And it's not even like just long distance. It's like long distance where she's in these remote corners of the planet where like she doesn't have access to like cell service. I mean, she has like a satellite phone, and I think she's able to keep in touch like a little bit, every day, but I can imagine that communication is like strained, like hours and hours away on expeditions, like totally different time zones. It does not seem like an easy relationship to maintain if the person is like emotionally present and actually giving their best. Um,
yeah,
but yeah. So
that's that.
yeah, yeah. So that's kind of how our chapter ends. Yeah. It's setting the tone. It's setting the tone for everything that comes next. But yeah, shall we move on? Any final thoughts from you?
Chapter 14. Yeah, I will say it was interesting for her to be with John for all five of these chapters. So
Yeah,
it is an interesting juxtaposition to see the things that occur as it parallels with her relationship. So,
totally.
that's all I'm gonna say about that. Chapter
Okay.
14.
Yeah, chapter 14 called Thinner Than Air, and it's 2013. She is back in her second home,
First
Everest.
home.
Right, yeah. Back on Everest. And she's married now. She's been married for a year at the start of this chapter. And she just kind of casually invites her husband John and her friends to join her in Everest when she lands on her trek to base camp. And I think she like in the moment, like kind of instantly regretted it, but her friends were about that life. And John, as we know, is about that life. And so he joins her. Um, and as a part of this kind of like trip, they're gonna get married in the Sherpa tradition. And her friends are also gonna kind of send her off to the next expedition. Um, I don't know. I'm wondering like how you feel about that. Like her kind of like going and having a second marriage ceremony in a different tradition too. Like, I don't know. I think it's sweet and I think it's like kind of nice, but it's like, dang, I don't know. It seems like they really they treat the institution of marriage like very sacredly and like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of like other more indigenous cultures just have respect for like life and like traditions in a way that Americans just don't. Just not even marriage, but just like Americans are so fake. Sorry, Americans. I'm an American. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious. Like, it's interesting to me, like, kind of knowing the way that she feels about her partner in her marriage to like
I mean,
commit
it
to.
was a bit disrespectful. Let's be real. Here's
Yeah,
the
that's kind
thing.
of what I'm getting
Not
at.
saying she should be out appropriating these people's cultural like traditions,
Yeah.
but I do think I think this woman was so in love with Nepal and
Mm,
Everest that she just that it was like blinder. She just sees this is my thing and these are my
yeah,
people. Like I think she felt closer to the people in Nepal than she did
for
anywhere else in
sure.
the world.
For
And this
sure.
was kind of like how can I meld that closeness?
Yeah.
But it sucked because I don't think at any point she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy. I'm so excited." She was like, "Can these people get out of my
Right.
country,
Just
please?"
going through the motion of my
Like,
of my country.
yeah, like it felt
Get
like
off my
literally
lawn.
she literally was like, I had offered this trip and it had to go on, but like at the end of the day, she wanted those people to leave.
She
Like
wanted them to leave. Yeah.
as
She's like,
soon
I
as this
wish you
thing
guys
was
had never
over,
come.
she was like, I just wanted to stay in bed and I wanted my friends to leave me there and let me get reacquainted with this. Like she
Yeah.
didn't I don't get it. Like and again, there
Yeah.
isn't a lot of context into what she was thinking
Mm,
other than I don't want to do this. So it's
right.
like you're gonna disrespect these people's tradition, knowing you don't,
Yeah.
and nobody asked you to do this. As far as I
Right.
can tell, it
Yeah.
wasn't like Lakpa and Sherop was like, "Hey, we really want to do this for you," and she thought it would be a sign of disrespect to not do it. Now, maybe
Right.
that is what how it happened, and we aren't given that context, but it just seems like yeah, I don't know whose idea this was. Like
It's
I don't
unclear
yeah.
because she says it's hosted by the Sherpa family. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they were just like, oh my God, you just got married. We want to do this thing for you.
That's what I feel like cuz I
Yeah.
can't comprehend how someone who barely wanted to get married
In the first place.
would be like, let's do this thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I do it was clearly her idea to invite them there.
Right.
And I think once she invited them there, that set off this ripple effect of,
Right.
hey, if you're gonna come here and you're a newlywed and you're celebrating this and your friends and oh, we should do this. Because
Yeah.
I do think it's interesting. And I mean, maybe it doesn't add to the story to tell us that, but it does, again, add to that perception that you have of her. Because it's
Yeah.
like one thing to not want John, but it's another one to do this.
Right. Like it's like if these are if you really respect their tradition, then like knowing that your marriage is not real in your heart, like I don't know, it just feels a little disrespectful to me to like go through with this ceremony, kind of like knowing that you don't really love this man and you don't really, or maybe I can't say that she doesn't really love him, but that you don't really want to be with him. It doesn't sound like she really loves him though. It sounds like she's learning what love is, not quite learning what love is, but maybe she wants to get to that point, but she doesn't even, I don't really think she knows how to love herself, let alone like, yeah, someone else.
She loved being wanted by someone,
Yeah.
and that was it. And she wanted to be able to want them on her own terms.
Yes.
Like she was not able to give what an actual marriage demands.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, this chapter, she's just she's immediately pushing him away. Like they're barely married, and she's already like, "Hey, go talk to Amy. Go, she's cute."
Don't you
Like
want to like go over there? Don't you want to go away?
it's wild. Like
Yeah.
I don't
You know,
know.
it'd be so fun if you left me alone.
And just nitpicking at every little thing he does
Yeah.
or says, and it's like
Yeah, this poor man. Yeah.
he's a soldier. I don't know how he did it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Well, so that all happens, and it did make me just like curious in general about like other traditions and how they, other cultures and how they handle certain traditions like weddings and like other life milestones. I'm just that's a put a pin in that, but I don't know. That's something that I'm really curious about and like want to examine. But yeah, her friends and John leave, and she gets on with her expedition, and she's climbing with some well-known and experienced climbers from all over the world. There's Simone. I was listening to the audiobook, and that's how she pronounces his name, Simone. Goodness gracious. And there's he's from where's he from? Italy. And there's
Hmm.
Uli,
Yeah.
who's
We're
from
gonna call him Yuli because I don't know. Well, you listen
Uli.
to it, so maybe you know how it's pronounced. I'm sure
I
they
want
say
to
that
say she
name
called
multiple
him
times.
Uli.
I could see that too.
Yeah.
That E does sound silent.
Yeah. But yeah, so she's bonding with them, and there's a couple other folks. Uli apparently thinks that she is stuck up, and she vehemently denies that. I'm not gonna lie, I could see her being stuck up.
Which is
She's never gonna
weird
come on
in
our
a lot of
show.
ways. It's that conceptually doesn't even make sense, which is why I think she denied it because she's like, I don't come from money. I had to
Yeah,
work, you know, hard to get to this place of being a woman guide.
yeah,
I don't think I actually don't think she's stuck up, but what I
yeah,
do think is she it comes down to why like I was even surprised she had a female friend because I just
yeah.
think she's so
Closed off.
I think if anything, less stuck up and more self-centered. I
Yes,
think she is just
totally.
like me, all me,
Yeah.
everything me. And I think that is what is recognized. Like she feels like one of those people who you say, "Hey, Melissa, how are you? I'm doing good."
Right. Or like, I'm
And you're
good. Let me tell
like,
you more, but I'm not
you're
gonna
like,
ask about you.
so I'm doing good too. Like, if you want to know how I'm doing,
Yeah.
like she feels like one of those people who is so focused on this task, this thing, and I'm not worried about socializing and being friends and opening up and letting you see who I am. It's like
Right.
almost engaging in conversation and to some degree she does almost honestly her closest relationships are with the Nepalese people, which is
Hmm.
interesting to me. Like if
Yeah.
you think about all the stories and the people that she really connects with, it's mostly those folks on that mountain.
Yeah.
And
I mean, she talks about how the mountain really can be a catalyst for like really bonding and connecting with people because
yeah.
you're in the trenches going through it. So it makes sense. I get it. And I'm sure that I don't want to say the novelty, but like, just like being embraced in this culture that's totally different from your own, like, you know, I'm sure there's something there too, but
Hmm.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That is an interesting point though. Um, but yeah, there's a little bit of ice to break between herself and these other climbers, these men. But eventually they do bond, and I think it sounds like she's really starting to build like a real kind of like community. Yeah, I guess just like a real like support network and like community. Like she mentions elsewhere, that Uli's kind of like becoming the mentor that she was really that she was looking for in previous expeditions. And yeah, it sounds like they've just like forged this friendship. They go away to this place called Namche and like have like a 3 day kind of like side quest. And that really kind of solidifies their friendship. Um, and so things seem to be going well on this expedition. But then there is an incident.
My God. This was
Yeah.
like out of a movie. My
Yeah.
entire brain played this entire scene out like a
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. 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 So, yeah, there's an incident. I could see that. I could see that. It was very dramatic. But yeah, Simone disrespects a Sherpa. There first I think so first of all, like there's a Sherpa team, there's their team. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but they climb the Sherpa team, I think, is like setting up ropes. And they climb above the Sherpa team, which I think is like poor etiquette, it sounds like, in mountaineering. But then like there's some kind of like back and forth, and Simone calls the Sherpa some word that basically translates to
Mother bleeper.
motherfucker. Oh, oops. Yeah. You can feel free to bleep me.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, he calls him this word, and like it's not treated the way it's treated in America, where like it has like different connotations. And even if you say it in the heat of a moment, like, it's whatever. Like this is like you don't say this word. You don't call anybody this word. This is like you're dead to me, like kind of type
Yeah,
energy.
like the way I think "See You Next Tuesday" used to be back in the day.
Oh, I'm not
Well,
familiar.
the acronym, if you take the letter from, you never heard people refer to that
Oh,
as "See You Next Tuesday"?
I thought you were saying CSEE. I see. Not
Yeah.
C with a C, not right, right, right. C and then U, not YOU. I understand what's happening now.
Okay. Whatever the
Two of
case
them are
is.
letters and two of them are actually words. And then you put
Gotcha.
them together to make an acronym,
Yes, not
right?
just the
Not
C
C with my
letter.
eyeballs. C the
Not,
letter. Yes.
yes.
C millennial version.
Yeah, Lord, the old folk thing. I know back in the day, like like I had a partner who his mom would lose it if you said that word.
Oh,
Like that was not a
wow.
word you said, you played with.
Yeah.
And now people use it as like a verb.
Yeah.
I
Or
don't
an
know. Or
adjective. I feel like
yeah,
it's
they're
like a
using it in
very
ways that I
in the queer community.
maybe, yeah, I was like, I must have missed something because I'm hearing this word being used and not in the way that it was.
Yeah.
It's like in a affirmative way.
It's
It's like
kind
a
of like
positive.
edgy. Yeah. It's
And
like,
I'm
yeah,
like,
it's edgy. It's like,
I am
it's,
so old. My goodness.
it's like, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. It's fierce. It's edgy. I feel like these are synonyms for like how the word is used.
I am so uncultured. Got it. Got it. Noted.
Um, but yeah, this is a big no-no, and Simone knows this because, yeah, when, he's been in Nepal long enough, has had enough exposure to like these people and their traditions and their culture that he knows that this is just not a word that you say. Um,
And he's the one with the helicopter, right? Who just be
yeah.
going wherever he feel like. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, she describes him as having like a really big kind of boisterous personality and like being, a little bit like inappropriate sometimes and all of these things. And she loves his personality, but I think for, his personality, I feel like is very Western. It's very like, look at me, like, very like center of attention, extroverted. And it sounds like the Sherpa culture is one of like, you know, we're a bit
Humbleness.
more quiet, a bit
Hmm.
more humble, a bit more just like respectful and like considerate of other people. And so I think that they just like were not jiving really to begin with. And then he kind of like called them this. They already weren't really messing with him. And then he says this word, and they're just like, okay, now it's time to beat your ass. And it's just like, so they basically form a mob and are ready to fight and come down looking for him. And Uli and John, who was also with them,
A different John.
a different John. He was a
Hmm.
photographer on this expedition. And Simone and John, she's like, you guys got to get out of here. Simone and John kind of escape, but Uli doesn't get far enough in time. And the mob descends on him and they start kicking him and trying to beat him up
Throwing
and
rocks.
throwing rocks at him. Melissa steps in and she steps in, she gets them to like stop. I'm not gonna say she gets them to stop being violent, but she gets them to at least stop beating him up in that moment. um,
She
and she
calms
convinces
the situation.
calms the situation, yes, as much as she can. And she convinces Simone to apologize. So he comes down and he gets on his knees, which he didn't want to do at first, but he gets on his knees and apologizes. And, they get a few licks in. And ultimately, they're like, you have to go. Like, you guys need to get out of here. You need to leave. You're not welcome here. And he kicks them off the map. They kick him and Uli and John off the mountain. And Uli and John, I think, leave. But Simone stays flying his helicopter and kind of like taunting the
Hmm.
Sherpas. Like he's like, I'm gonna stay here. Like, he not gonna land though. I bet you he won't land. um, but he does kind of just, and it's just, I don't know. It's just like, dude, grow up. Like this is so I hate that. I hated it. I'm not gonna lie, I hated it. I hated it because I just feel like, wow, like what a sense of entitlement. Like
Hmm.
you are in this place, you're a guest. You know what I mean? Like I get it, this is nature, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's welcome. But like these people are the guardians and the gatekeepers of Everest. And like for you to be so blatantly disrespectful, and then after they left, for you to like go out of your way to like tease and taunt and like try to get under their skin, it's just like ew.
Yeah, it was a power trip. It's like,
Yeah.
hey, you little peasant, you need me here, and I bring money to this village somehow. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I don't know. Karma, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Ooh.
I don't know what
Okay.
happens to him, but
It's
you
real.
know.
Yeah. It's real.
So
Especially, I'm like, you're dealing with some people that have some deep indigenous wisdom. Like,
yeah.
I don't fool with that. Like, I have a lot of respect for like cultural wisdom, indigenous wisdom, traditional wisdom. And I feel like you are playing with fire if you're like playing with these people. And, I don't know. So we'll see. We don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll learn more about Simone after this chapter. But yes, I agree. Karma, I don't think that you're setting yourself up for like success in the future. You need to really like, I don't know. He really needed to humble himself, and that pissed me off. But yeah, in the aftermath of all of that, there is a lot of publicity, which I think is like kind of really stressful for her to deal with, but also for Uli.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like getting it pretty hard from the Swiss media, which I found really interesting because it just surprised me that like the Swiss media was on the side of the Sherpas. And I don't think it's like great for them to like vilify him in the way that he did because Uli didn't even really do nothing wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't from what I read, it sounds like Simone was the kind of like ringleader and like the main person. And Uli's just like, I don't understand like I know he said a bad word, but I don't really understand what was so bad. But Uli was not the main aggressor. Um, but that just surprised me. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting that like the Swiss were like not on his side, but rather like more so on the side of the Sherpas. And like I don't like the way that they vilified him and the level of intensity, but it was like a positive signal for me of like, okay, like even in like Switzerland, there's respect for like these like smaller communities and like these more traditional cultures. So see you over there snacking. You're not, you're hungry too.
He calling me out.
If I had a snack, if I only had a snack, I
That's what
don't.
happens when you record during lunchtime or post
um,
lunchtime.
and now I'm thinking about placing a Grubhub order when we're done. I shouldn't because I have food in my refrigerator, but I want to spend money. So that's what I'm gonna do. But yeah, so
But it did shake him. It shook who
it
it shook
yeah.
I think too. I think Uli and Melissa are very similar people.
Mm,
And I think he recognized that in a way once he essentially took her under his wing. And I think they both feel very deeply and uniquely connected to the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And losing that connection really shook him, but also
Yeah.
feeling unsafe in that connection really shook him. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and I don't know, I felt bad for him because, I mean, he learned a valuable lesson that day. I'll say that much. Like, I think initially he was just like, oh, it's just, I know he said a bad word, but it's just a word. I don't get the big deal. And I think that, I think that white men need to be humbled. And so I'm like, it was rough, it was hard, but I think you learned an important lesson about respecting other people and other cultures and about your own entitlement. And that's fine. I'm fine with that. So, yeah, I mean, it sucks though, like how hard it hit him, but yeah, that's life, homie. You gonna learn today. And so
Yeah.
it sounds like he did. But yeah, so she's kept in touch with him. He's been her mentor. He's helping her with like her fitness and training plans and assessing the weather for her upcoming expedition. She plans a summit push, but the weather is poor, so they end up bailing. And she was ultimately able to summit again. I think initially she thought she wouldn't, but she does achieve her fifth summit on this trip. And when she gets back down to
But
Camp
not
2,
without oxygen.
not without oxygen. She did want to attempt it without oxygen. I don't know how. I guess this is because after her first attempt, she was like, I want to do this without oxygen. So this is
Hmm.
probably like her fourth
Yep.
time trying without oxygen and has not had her success yet. Um, and when she gets down to Camp 2, another tragedy. We thought the last part was full of tragedies. This is just tragedy central.
All I'm gonna say about this book is, and it was funny because I was with a mountaineer last night who's literally headed to Annapurna on Monday.
Hmm.
And I was like, y'all got it. Y'all got it.
Yeah.
I cannot, I,
I'm super good.
if I wasn't already good, which I
Yeah.
was,
Yeah.
this here book, let me know this is one adventure, no
Yeah.
desire. Zero,
Zero. Yeah.
negative 22 desire to do this.
Yeah. I know. I thought that I like wanted to like try some mountaineering one day. And like, maybe I could do some lightweight, like maybe I could do a Rainier or like some very, very lightweight, like, I'm talking like a 14er or something, something I could just throw on some hiking boots and like,
No, no. The story that they told me, the person I was with last night, got a phone call that 5 people had just died where they were heading to.
where?
In a
Oh, in
freak,
Annapurna.
yeah, yes, in a
Wow.
freak winter, s- like I guess some winter, I don't know, some
Yeah.
wind, some avalanche stuff
Oh my
happened, and
gosh.
I was
Yeah.
like, y'all.
Right.
I mean, I was
And
like, be safe to you. Safe travels. I wish you nothing but the best.
yeah. My thing is like when freak accidents happen that often, is it a freak accident anymore or is just the this is just the nature of the sport. Like I feel like anytime you do this, there's like a 50% or less chance you're going to make it home.
I think it's just a significantly higher risk sport
Yeah.
than most. I think it's
Yeah.
just so much higher because there's all these factors, one of which I can't wait to talk about. That one crazy thing that happened was like, what? But
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Mm,
avalanches and it's just too much. Like that, I just feel like,
crevasses.
look, whether you are spiritual or not,
Yeah.
the closer you be trying, y'all be trying to get up there to God, he just gonna let you know,
Hmm.
y'all, this ain't for you. This is my
Yeah.
territory.
Right.
Like God and
Right.
Mother Nature are like, you
I
want to
know.
play? Let's play.
Yeah. Yeah.
This was wild. You can, yeah. So you can talk about this because that was wild.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, so a climber that she knows tangentially, Alexei Bolatov, died in a rappelling accident, and she didn't know him very well. She mentions him in the beginning, like earlier in the chapter when she's just talking about a couple of the other people that are on the expedition. But even though she barely knows him, his death just deeply affects her. Um, yeah, I'm trying to find, let's see. Yeah. She says that well, yeah, let's see. So his rope broke. He was trying to rappel. Um, and she just, I don't know. I think she like has this like kind of like spiritual, I guess, awareness or spiritual intuition that like he was trying to like communicate with her while
Hmm.
he was on the mountain. Um, Apparently, Alexi's rope had broken early that morning as he was trying to rappel at the edge of the ice fall. I didn't know Alexei Bolotov, but I was certain that even though he was already dead, he had been up there at the South Col with us in the pre-dawn dark, trying to make me aware of him. How else could I explain it? Hmm. I've always thought that the thin air of altitude allows you to be closer to the spirits in the universe, and now I was surer than ever. Sometimes the heaviest things can only come through the thinnest air, and this season it was full of the heaviest things.
Yeah,
So,
because it only gets heavier after this.
yeah, yeah. Because what had immediately precipitated this? Um,
Well,
mhm.
I think they were going back up and there was a storm. Uli had like warned, like, hey, the forecast is going to be a little crazy. Be careful, blah, blah, blah. And I don't know
Right.
if she saw these until after their
It sounds like she
actual,
saw it after. Because
yeah.
initially he was like, the weather's good. You guys are going to be great. And then she
Hmm.
got there and realized. And when
And
she got back to
yeah, and
camp,
that's the thing I don't like about this. Like the weather
yeah.
changes. Like I feel like there's no way to really plan. Like I don't
Yeah.
care if you check the weather forecast, like the changes in weather are so unpredictable that it's like you just got to be prepared for self-rescue for uh, I don't know, like it's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
It is wild to me. So,
Right.
yeah, I think it was just more so, that's pretty much it. They waited 3 weeks for for their time to make this push, and they did the push, but she just kept having these thoughts of this Alexi
Yeah.
person, and I think it just kind of like let her know that there's sort of these spiritual forces in the mountains.
Yeah, I think she kind of like, it sounds like she kind of like equates, like, has this, I don't know. It sounds like she kind of like relates the intuition that she experienced, like that was telling her, like, the weather's not good. You should like come down and get off the mountain. Like, I think she associates that to some extent with like his spirit kind of like being a presence and sort of trying to warn her that, she should kind of like back down. Um, But yeah, that is chapter 14, and yeah, it it only gets heavier. It's already it's already been so much. I'm like, wow, my God. But yeah, should we move on to chapter 15? A little bit shorter, chapter 15, Escape. Um 2013, Rainier to Chamonix. I don't know why every time I see that word, I want to say chamois. I don't know where that comes from, but Chamonix, Chamonix. But yeah, so she completes her
In
100th
France,
in France.
for
Have you
those who
been?
don't know where Chamonix is.
Yeah. Okay. Are you familiar with Chamonix?
Yeah, they do a national bouldering or international bouldering comp
That's not
there.
Fountain though.
Mm-mm.
Is it?
No,
Oh,
no, no.
that's a different one. Okay.
Yeah,
Chamonix.
they're both in France, but it's not.
Chamonix.
Mm-mm.
Sorry. That's so fun to say. Chamonix. I really like saying
I would
it.
like to go for sure.
Chamonix. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go to Chamonix. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm done. Anyways, um, she completes her 100th climb on Rainier, and at that point, kind of decides to take a step back and take a break from guiding on Rainier, and is like ready to kind of become a student again. John, poor John, still trying to connect with her. He wants to do Rainier with her, but she declines. And instead of celebrating their anniversary together, she goes off to Europe, the Alps. It's just,
Yep, sounds about right.
it's like every chance that she had to like celebrate a milestone with him, she was like, nah, I'm gonna go do my own thing. Like, I don't know. I just, this poor, poor man. And he still wanted to continue to give it his all, which to your point, it's like, are you might be kind of broken too. Like, I think you need to do some inspecting.
If she is not gonna spend your birthday with you
Right.
or
Or your
anniversary,
anniversary.
birth, I know we haven't gotten a birthday. Sorry
Yeah.
for jumping ahead, but
Spoiler
like
alert.
that,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out what is going through this man's mind, like to be
Yeah.
like. I mean, it's interesting because as I'm reading this, I'm thinking he has to be cheating. Like but the crazy thing about it is like, what benefit of it is it for you? Like, does he like her celebrity? Does he like the adjacency to her kind of
Right.
basically being like a celebrity? Like, I just don't understand why you would stay with someone who is screaming, "I don't want to be with you." Like,
Yeah.
I don't even think it was subtle. I think even if if this was a documentary and they interviewed friends, friends would probably be like, "Oh yeah, no, I saw
Right.
that coming a mile away, and I wasn't surprised they got divorced." Like, I'm certain because I'm
Yeah.
sure there were friends who was judging, like, "Yo, you never see her. Y'all are
Yeah.
never together."
Right. Yeah. 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 So,
I
mm,
do want to say shout out to the all woman team for her 100th summit.
oh yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was cool. Um, so she
But she went to
abandons him.
Chamonix basically to train.
Right.
So Chamonix is essentially like, well, she went to the French Alps,
Uh-huh.
and this is, more of that high elevation. I think it's just not as risky as in Everest,
Right.
um, but basically being able to go there and train,
Yes.
and yeah, because
Yeah.
she's trying to get. I think it's really about that no oxygen aspect.
Yeah. And so, yeah, she has a plan to go out and train and really learn from some experienced alpine climbers. She literally hit the ground running, got landed in France, or yeah, I guess she landed in France. I can't remember exactly, but it gets to Chamonix and literally does a 25 pitch technical face climb the night that she arrives. And this is like less than 24 hours after, or about 24 hours after her last summit in Rainier. So
I
she's
guess she just
just,
doesn't get jet lag. She just like, I'm a
I'm
go
saying,
gadget.
like,
Because how long
I
does that take? How long did that climb take? Like 25 pitches?
I don't know. A long time. uh yeah, like 20 I listen, I would have been like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm going to bed. Let's chat about this tomorrow. Like
And
yeah.
she wasn't with Uli.
No.
She actually did that right with these two. I think they were were they two Italian twins? I don't know if
I
they weren't French. I don't believe they were French.
no, Argentinian.
Argentinian. Okay.
Yeah, Damien and Willie Benegas. Argentinian brothers, institutions in the climbing world. So yeah, she just decides to hit the ground running and does this 25 pitch climb that they lead, but still like technical climbing, and it sounds like it was like relatively difficult. Like it doesn't even sound like it was easy. 25 pitches. First of all,
And
let's just talk about
15,000 feet,
at
or was it
15,000
feet? Or
feet.
yeah. Yeah, that's where the summit was. Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know how much they actually
like
ascended,
distance.
but
She said about over 1,000 feet of rock climbing, but I don't know. Yeah, I
yeah, the
can't
elevation for
spot.
the summit was 15,000.
Yeah, first of all, let's just talk about how much I can't stand multi-pitching. Okay, there, I said it.
I actually liked it. I'm not, I mean, I only ever did three was my
Yeah.
max.
I think the most I've done is maybe a four pitch climb. I don't know. I could get down with some like very, very, very chill, like I'm talking 5, 6, five,
Oh, I
seven
gotta take you to Colorado. We
multi
have to
pitch.
go to, yes.
The
I would,
Flatirons, is that what it is?
no,
Oh,
no, 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 no.
okay.
Staunton, my crag.
Oh, okay.
I want to take you there to go multi-pitching because the person who developed the routes, my
Yeah.
mentor, they're all so chill. Like they're
Yeah.
not hard. It's just you just get so high up. I don't even.
Yeah. I
If
could,
if you want chill multi-pitches to lead,
yeah.
I
And
no, not the
I will
Flatirons.
say, like, the little multi-pitch experience that I have has been trad multi-pitch too,
Oh
which is like
God, no.
right. So it's just like higher stakes and just generally more intense, but I love single pitch climbing, okay? I know it's probably not as like badass and like, alluring as like multi-pitch climbing, but it's chill. You can like bail pretty easily. It just doesn't require as much time or energy or technical skills, and you can just chill and like do as much or as little as you want. Multi-pitch is such a commitment and it's scary to me, but I don't know. Everybody love multi-pitch, whatever. Anyways, I don't know. I think with some super easy sport multi-pitch though, I could like probably get a lot more into it and have some fun. Um, but anyways, this isn't about me or my opinion on multi-pitch climbing. It's
Well,
about
it is also a climbing podcast, so
yeah.
that's gonna happen.
Okay. But yeah. So she does that, which is so wild. I like am like, she's talking about Uli's an animal, and she's like, oh, these other climbing people are animals. I'm like, lady, listen, you're built different than me. One thing I will say about her is she's fierce. She's badass. She's super badass. And I couldn't keep up with her for like half a day. So definitely a lot of respect there. When she finally sees Uli, he is just totally broken. The media is like really vilifying him. And I don't know, it just sounds like he's really in a dark place, like just planning on climbing the climb that you mentioned that your friend or the person that you were talking to yesterday is
Yeah,
climbing
yeah.
Annapurna.
I don't know if I doubt it was the same climb, but the
Yeah,
same area or mountain
right.
peak
Yeah,
range area. I don't know anything about these things.
me
Annapurna just is
either.
a word for me.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was interesting though to hear someone say they were going somewhere that I had just read about.
right
So
about,
that
yeah,
was fascinating.
yeah.
Um, and I put a note here before we get too deep into the end of this chapter that I would like to disclose a trigger warning because
Mhm.
um, there are kind of some talks of self-harm. So if you need to like hop on over to chapter 16, feel free to click on the chapter 16 link and jump ahead. But yeah, broken is a good word. And it's interesting because it started to make me realize when he's like, I'm going to go do this climb, this 8,000-meter climb, and I don't plan on coming back. And I don't know if he didn't plan on or if he doesn't care if he comes back. It kind of made me realize why she resonated with this so much because of the risky nature of it. I think in some deep, dark way, she has that self-centeredness of like, I would never, you know, in my life, but I will do the most craziest, dangerous, scary things. So if it happened, it happens. And the people who never loved me will have to suffer and see what almost like, aha, I got you. Like kind of one of those. There was like a weird thing that made me feel like, oh, she is doing this for a reason. Like, I don't know. And I could be wrong, but it felt like she was trying to test fate
Yeah.
because she didn't have a lot of control over anything else.
I definitely could see that. I'm not sure if you're talking about the dream that she had or just in
No, I
general.
just meant in general. I
I,
just
you
started
know,
to like deep
get that
dive
sense.
a little bit deeper because the way she was like, he kind of insinuated um
Yeah,
that and this was something that she resonated with. Like
right.
she
Yeah,
and I wrote this question like what is the deal with mountaineers being so comfortable with death? It feels like I mean,
yeah,
and maybe that answer is in these next couple of chapters. It's like
yeah.
you experience it and you
Right.
know that that is the nature of this particular activity is it's
Yeah.
going to come with death, whether you experience it, somebody you know will experience it, or you're gonna be tripping over somebody's thumb while you up there.
Not somebody's thumb. I'm sorry. That's crazy.
I'm
That's
just
actually
saying, like
crazy.
rest in peace, but like damn, they don't even like give those bodies back to the families. Like
Yeah.
it's always in your face,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And I mean,
It's wild.
and there's so many factors, not just the weather, but then you also have the whole whatever the brain exploding stuff of the elevation and
Yeah.
I guess you get that brain swell if you go up to if you don't
Oh, right.
acclimatize. Like it's no
Yeah.
too
Way
much.
too much. Way too much. I have a friend who's a mountaineer. I have a couple of friends who's a mountaineer, but I have a friend who I like a good friend who's a mountaineer, and I want to like. I don't know if he does it anymore. I don't think he does it as much as he used to, but I am really curious to just hear, especially having read this book, like for firsthand accounts of like, you know, what that experience is like. Um,
But doesn't and then she has a flashback
right. She has a flashback.
that
Yeah.
is what connects this suicide conversation.
Yeah. So she's like, he says, maybe this is my last climb. And she says he's hinting at that the climb is so dangerous that he might not make it home and that he's okay with that. So, like, right there sounds like there's some, like, he's already, I think this is a form of suicidal ideation. And she says that it resonates. She can relate to that. And then, yeah, she has a dream. I think she's dreaming. I'm not sure if it's I don't know that was it a flashback or was it a dream? I don't know. It says her dreams dance with her memories. And she scrolled through various scenes of her life until oh, so it was a flashback.
Hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a dream. That's wild. But it ends with her sharing a flashback of her own attempt at taking her own life. And ultimately it fails, obviously. But through that, she realizes that she doesn't want to die. And that as rough as things are, as hard and as dark as things are, she wants to see what happens next. And she wants to give herself a chance to find out what happens next. And she realizes, like, in that moment where she tries to take her own life, she almost succeeds. Um, but she wasn't even like quite ready. Like, she
Yeah,
wasn't
she was
even
trying to like back out. It's that moment of like, oh, I'm gonna do this, and it's like, no, 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 I don't want to do this, and then it was like,
right.
oh, well,
And
you
then it was like,
started.
oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. And then fortunately, like, so she like wants to try, then right, she kind of backs out, but she's already kind of like set herself up to like, do the thing. And in that moment, she's like, whoa, I really don't want to do this. Like, this is not what I want to do. And so, yeah, I mean, I think it was like a big moment of clarity for her of just like, I, this right here sucks, but I know that like this isn't the end. It doesn't have to be the end. And I want to give myself a chance to figure it out because to not know what could be like, that's like a death within a death. So, um, yeah, uh, that's kind of where we leave off. And she says, yeah, had hoped that she would never fall as to that dark place, to such a dark place again, but she recognizes that darkness in Uli's eyes. And yeah, I think I don't know. It just sounds like she's had like a lot of revelations are hitting her at the same time. Um, and so even though she maybe hasn't quite found herself to that level of darkness yet, there is this like realization that like things the life that she's like built for herself is starting to like crumble and crack, and like she's having to like really like confront some things. So that kind of sets us up, yeah, for our next chapter.
Yeah,
Chapter 16,
probably the shortest chapter.
unavoidable.
I think it was the shortest chapter in this section, at least
Yeah.
as it pertains to my notes.
Yeah, for sure. Same. So yeah, chapter 16, unavoidable. Back at it again in Everest, or at Everest, in
I
Everest,
mean,
in
it's
Nepal, at
she's
Everest.
staying Everest.
She'd
At,
be in Everest,
yeah,
yeah.
like I don't see a lot of Idahos here.
Right. Yeah. So another trip to Everest.
She
And
got
we find
those
out.
points. Those flight miles be
Right.
flying. Well,
Yeah, so
she is a sponsored athlete. This is something that she only kind of mentions on occasion, but
yeah,
I imagine like these trips
these
are
are paid
covered.
for trips.
Hmm.
Yeah. I was thinking that too. But yeah,
Yeah.
EB
Yeah.
paying for these most of these expeditions, I'm sure. Um so Uli successfully completes his climb, which is great. It sounds like he went with a partner, and he makes it through. And it sounds like she can see the life kind of like coming back to him. So,
He actually did it alone.
oh, he did? I thought he said that he was going to do it with a partner.
I don't know. It just says he did it solo in 27 hours, which is,
What page is that?
I mean, because again, it seemed like he didn't want to come back. So I'm actually not surprised that he did it alone. It's the first
Yeah.
page of chapter 16, the first
Oh,
paragraph.
yeah, 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 yeah.
I think he was hoping almost to not come back. And that's why, like,
Mm.
he's not going to go with somebody
Right. I
and put
remember
them.
him mentioning that his wife didn't want him to do it alone, and so he said he would go with a partner, but I guess he ended up deciding not to.
I'm a man. I do what I want to do.
Right.
That's what
That's
I
his
heard it was
Swiss
going to say.
accent.
Oh, yeah. Lord knows I can rock a Swiss accent. I cannot.
But yeah, so he does it alone. And it sounds like as hard as it was, like, uh, or as hard as it probably was, I don't know. It sounds like he needed that experience. Like, fortunately, it's very much a what doesn't kill you will make you stronger type of thing, where, like, I think because he did not perish, he did end up kind of like having the
A
spark is
reset.
slowly starting to come back to him. Yeah. So that's good. We love that for Uli. And Melissa is heading out for her sixth Everest expedition. It's the spring of 2014. And she is going to climb with one of the few female Sherpas in the mountains. And they're going to form a little climbing duo. And their plan is to like climb to the summit from the Nepal side, come back down, head to Tibet, and then climb back up again
So
from
a
the
double summit.
yeah, a
Hmm.
double feature
Yep.
in the same season. And this time she's going to try again without oxygen.
Which is crazy. You trying to do two? You can't even do one.
Right.
How you doing two summits
Right.
when you ain't did one
Yeah,
summit
but she went to
without oxygen?
France. So now she's ready.
No. Try again.
um, so yeah, she's like, I think she's feeling good. She's feeling the stoke. Woo, yay. Anywho, so she is attempting to climb without oxygen. We'll see how that goes, but yeah, they're I think she's like excited. This is like a new opportunity, new time on Everest, her happy place, and I think she's like excited about going on this trip with another woman and like having her first expedition on Everest, where she's just partnering with another woman. I'm excited for her. Unfortunately, the expedition gets off to kind of a rocky start. So they go into it with some problems. Their gear gets delayed, so they have to delay their acclimatization, and it like reduces the chances that when they do get to attempt this, they don't make it to the summit. Um, And also, her visa into Tibet is denied, so they can't complete the double summit like they wanted to. And she's disappointed, but okay because at least no one's died. That's kind of the benchmark for a good day on Everest. No one died, but that's not true for that long because there is a really huge accident. I actually wanted to do, I don't know, some research about this. I was just curious to hear more details about it, but maybe maybe I shouldn't. But either way, there's a huge accident and it's pretty gruesome. Melissa ends up helping out because of her extensive medical training. But yeah, basically, a chunk of ice the size of a house, she mentioned, falls off the side of a cliff. And I think this is what you were talking about, right? Like you had mentioned just like the other thing that happens.
Yeah, this is the like holy grail of death, I think, of all these. Yeah, basically 2,000 feet above them, ice the size of a suburban house. Now, first of all,
Mm.
I don't need to be anywhere that has a ice that could dangle and break off. That is
Yeah,
the size of a whole,
of a
like
house.
what?
Yeah.
And just fell and buried these people alive.
Yeah.
Well, buried them into, buried these
It did a
people.
lot of things. Like there were some people that were huddled together that got buried. There were other people that tried to get away that got hit with ice or knocked into crevasses.
16 people.
Yeah.
16.
Yeah. 16
16.
people. 16 people. And one of them was Ong Sharing, who was, if
Hmm.
you remember, like in the last section, he was a cook from Camp 2 who helped take care of her and was so kind to her after Chawang's death. And she kind of references this event then. Um, yeah, just, oh my God. I can't even I don't understand how you like want to keep
I
I don't
don't.
even understand how you want to keep doing this after that. After the first death, I probably would have been like, I'm okay. But she's seen so much at this point.
I mean, it's a mountain with ice
Right.
and it's gonna fall.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. I think there was like, okay, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. My
Mm,
brain, just all these scenarios wrapped up, like how Chuang died, how the other guy, Alexi died. Like,
yeah.
it's these, no matter what I did right, I could not control Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Like, and
Right.
I don't, when I got hurt, I dug deep into what did I do wrong? What could have prevented this? I read every accident report from the AAC like a psycho. I
Mm,
don't recommend it. But what I got from that was I was less worried about what I did wrong and more worried about what I couldn't control.
mm. Yeah.
And for us, I would say our biggest factors is rockfall.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that's like, injuring or killing people in rock climbing
Mm-hmm.
is there's more and more
Or
people.
not closing your, well, yeah.
There's
You're talking
more,
about factors outside of the climbing.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Mm-hmm.
more and more people climbing, and there's just wear on some of these mountains. And so things that were once connected are starting to loosen and fall.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be doing everything right. You could be wearing a helmet.
Mm-hmm.
A rock falling from a certain amount of feet, that helmet will mean nothing.
Yeah.
And so, even when I climb now on ropes outside, I research the area to see if it's known for rockfall.
Yeah.
I also will not get on a rope if another group is climbing above or right next to it, typically above. Like if they're climbing next and I see people going above, I'm not climbing.
Right.
You're not about to loosen up some stuff that's going to fall on me while I'm climbing or my belayer.
Yeah.
I it sucks because yes, climbing is inherently dangerous. We all know the quote,
Hmm.
but I don't feel like it's that dangerous if you
Yeah.
can really,
Compared to this, yeah.
yeah. Whereas
Yeah.
this is like freaky next level, what the what dangerous. Like this is
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah.
I
Right.
I, I would have went home and y'all would not have seen me on a mountain ever again. I would have taken my six attempts and
Yeah.
been happy with what I got.
Right? Yeah, seriously. Um, so yeah, and then she has a moment of just kind of like wondering, like, was there an angel on my shoulder, basically? Like, if had my gear arrived in time, like, would I have been one of those people that lost their life that day? Um, and that is a freaky thought to have. Like, that is a such a, oh my gosh.
I do believe somebody ain't want her on that mountain that day.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't have to be spiritual or whatever or a woo woo type, but
Yeah.
there was definitely something
There's some
that was like,
intervention going on. Yeah.
because all these little droplets of things.
Yeah. Right.
Mm-mm.
Right. Um, so yeah, just another tragedy. Goodness gracious. With that much tragedy, I don't even understand if you do decide to continue mountaineering, how do you continue to enjoy it? Like I feel like every time I went to the mountains, I would just be reminded of death. And it would be so hard to like enjoy it. Like it would be so hard to like form positive memories because of all of the negative ones. But that's her home. The mountains are her home. Um, when she gets back to her other home with John, he's happy to have her back, but the resentment is continuing to build. And I think after like the trauma and the tragedy of such a huge event, like the resentment is even greater because he's like, oh my God, you're back early. We can go do all of these things. And she's like, wow, like
Yeah.
I just went through all of this stuff. Like I am not thinking about having fun with you or like, I don't
Yeah,
know
to
how.
be fair, I'll give her that one. She can get that point.
I
I
was
get
with her on that too. Like I was like, that would have kind of annoyed me as well. Like I just saw 16 people die. I'm not going to a wedding with you and your friends.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, so yeah, that would have got under my skin a little bit too. But she decides to go do what she does best, and she
Run,
escapes.
run, run, run,
And she
run.
decides to go on a bike trip across Montana. And yeah, that's kind of how our chapter ends. It's really,
It was
yeah,
short, but oof, oof.
yeah, it was a lot.
Ah,
And we're not done. I think
yeah,
there's no more deaths.
if it could.
So that's cool.
Oh, there's
I don't
not.
think,
No,
right?
there is.
Which one? Who died
Oh,
next?
there is. Actually, this I correct myself. This let's get into chapter 17.
Well,
Let's get into
yeah.
chapter because I keep track of numbers. Numbers is like the biggest part of my notes,
Okay.
and I think chapter 17 actually tops chapter 16 on the body count.
Okay. I think I know what you're talking about, unless I like really miss something major, but
Oh,
I
something
think
major happens, and this is the natural disaster that I actually
right.
would
Okay.
like to. You speak about research. I would actually look into this a little bit more because that was wild.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's get into it.
The
So,
final
last
chapter of part
yeah,
4.
I can go get my grub hub because I'm hungry, y'all. I'm so hungry. Oh my God. Why didn't I eat breakfast today? I don't know. Chapter 17, Peak Purity, 2014, Mustang. It's spelled Mustang, but I think she pronounced it Mustang.
Oh, I
Mustang.
definitely said Mustang in my head.
Mustang Nepal. Mustang Nepal, y'all. So she's planning an FA in Nepal, and it sounds like this is possibly her first FA, but there are like some unnamed peaks that hasn't been climbed, and she's going on an expedition to try to like summit one of them. her career is doing well. She's got newfound kind of like celebrity in her career, but inside she is crumbling, it sounds like. And her marriage is really starting to unravel. Like she's been through so much that at this point
What
she
is she,
can't
3 years
even,
in?
I think so,
About?
which is so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because right, that was I'm so sorry. Her first 2013. Well, it might be 2 years because in 2013, no, 2013 she was had been married for a year. I don't know. I can't math right now, but it's been at least 2 years. It
Hmm.
sounds like. But yeah, her marriage is starting to unravel. She can't even really pretend anymore. She's planning on guiding some clients in Everest and decides to head there early. This is where she misses John's birthday and instead of being with him on his birthday, she's in Everest because she decided to go early and go to somebody else's wedding. Um, and she has a friend bring John a cake on her behalf. And when her friend brings him the cake, she sees that a woman answers the door. Um, and at that point, Melissa's just like, I don't even care,
Cool.
whatever.
Bet, bet, bet. You got
Yeah,
it. Like
yeah,
I actually felt like she wanted him to cheat on her.
yeah, yeah,
Like I think she wanted out, but she
yeah.
needed him to be the one to end it.
Right. Excuse me. Yeah. So yeah. So she that kind of ends up happening and she completes her FA. So that's a success. Um,
20,000 feet.
yeah, you are in numbers. Yeah, keeping track. But yeah, on the way home, she's really having to try to confront whether or not she actually wants to stay in her marriage. And I think she's going back and forth about it, really wrestling with it, but she decides that she wants to give it a real chance. And I don't think that she actually wants to, but I think that in her mind, she's like, I feel like she doesn't feel like she can really give up or like just what she is supposed to do. Somehow it feels like what she is supposed to do is to like kind of see this marriage through and stick it through. But at some point, she says she want to be married to him, but that's about as far as she can get. But ultimately, she decides to like try to give it a real chance and like really show up and be present. And she's planning to apologize for everything and tell him the truth. But it's just that was so funny to me because she's like, yeah, my desire to be honest was growing. I wouldn't tell him everything, but I would admit that I hadn't been present. And I'm like, do you let's talk about honesty. Let's break down some definitions. And I guess like, you don't have to be fully transparent, but I thought it was funny and interesting that she was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to commit to telling him the truth. I'm ready to be honest, but like only selectively so." And I'm curious, I mean, the first thing that comes to my mind when she says that she isn't going to tell him everything is the cheating that she's going to exclude. Like I'm assuming
Yeah.
she's not,
Yeah.
but I'm wondering if there
If she's going to tell him about the cheating.
right.
If that is, or if everything is, I don't actually want to be with you. You are not making me happy.
Right. I guess that's another truth that she's withholding. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if there's like other things that when she says I wouldn't tell him everything, like what are the other things that she's leaving out?
Hmm.
But yeah, she plans to kind of like go in and like I think she's steeling herself to be like, yes, like I think she's steeling herself to be like, yes, I'm going to like really go home. I'm going to give this my best shot. Like, I'm going to commit to this person. And when she gets home, she opens up his computer and she sees some risque photos of another woman and just another woman, just like four photos of another woman, some of them risque, some of them like a little bit more innocent, but
Yeah.
still very apparent that there's another woman in his life and that he's cheating on her. Um, and this is when she actually starts to feel the jealousy and the anger. Um, like this is when it like kind of bubbles up. And I don't know, what did you make of that? I
I
thought
was
that that
confused. I'll be honest, because I feel like she wanted to find something.
mm-hmm.
Like,
It sounds like she
I
did.
still don't think I think she needed to have a reason to walk away.
Yeah.
And she got that reason. And so her being upset was a little confusing to
Yeah.
me. I
Right.
thought, if anything, in the moment she would have been relieved. I didn't expect her reaction to be upset by it,
Yeah.
but that is why I think she's emotionally unstable and emotionally immature. And she really didn't know what she wanted or what she felt. She knew she
Yeah.
wasn't happy,
Excuse
but
me.
it was like, I need to control this. This needs to be on my terms. So it's like, for her to be upset when you don't really want it, like,
Mhm.
yo, call that therapist ASAP.
Call the
Cause
lady.
it's
Yeah.
starting to, like, and to be honest, if you really think about it, I don't even know if she was upset about that. Like, if you
Yeah.
think about all the, I think it was a trauma response. She's seeing all these dealing with all these deaths. She's going back to being a child and not feeling loved, and like seeing that triggered, oh, he doesn't love me, he doesn't want me, even though he has shown and proved that he does, and you've pushed
Right.
him away. So I think this was just a trauma response. I don't actually think I don't,
And
and
maybe
we'll
pride.
see, and once he was there,
Yeah.
her being so stoic and cold and heartless,
Yeah.
to me, that was how she actually felt about the relationship. I think
Mm.
her discovery was just how she felt in general inside, but I don't think it was solely
Yeah.
tied to the relationship.
Yeah, I think I mean I hear you and I think like definitely there's a lot of that and I wonder if there was also like a little bit of like pride too. Like I could see her being like you don't cheat on me. I'm the like, I'm the one who hurts you. Like I think that and I mean I guess this kind of like goes into the trauma response that you're talking about, but it definitely sounds like I can imagine that like it struck her ego in a way that was like oh, so you think like, I don't know. I could be like wrong and like grasping at straws, but I suspect I think in general like that's just kind of a thing. Like even if you it could be so many things. It could be her ego, it could be maybe like some guilt knowing that she like had cheated on him first and like um I don't know. And like projecting kind of like some of that like some of her own like you said internal feelings onto him. Um But yeah, either way, she's like furious, which is just so crazy to me because I'm like, didn't you cheat on him and decide not to tell him? Like, yeah, call the lady. Like you said, you gotta
And
you gotta call the
apparently
lady.
they did see a therapist.
Oh yes, she saw a family relationship therapist. I
Hmm.
think that she probably needed her own
Oh, for
individual
sure, for
therapy
sure.
too. I
Has
laughed when
been needed, but yes.
yeah, been needed. I laughed when the therapist was like, "Yeah, I think mountain climbing is a mental illness." She might not be wrong. I don't. Something's going on here. Like I don't know. Yeah.
Look, I think if she had said, I think you might have a mental illness,
Yeah.
would have been one thing.
Yeah.
I don't think putting it on the whole sport is exactly fair. Even because
Yeah.
here's the thing, the people who do it know the danger. So I'm not gonna feel
Right. Yeah.
like
There
it.
is for sure though. Like you're built different. Like mentally. Not to say that that's a mental illness, but like to be that comfortable with that level of risk, it's like that is a mentality that I can't relate to.
But I
Let's say.
also think there's layers. I will say, like, we're not mountaineer shamers here.
No, not at all.
There's Everest, and then there's mountaineering.
Yeah,
And I do think there's degrees
for
of
sure.
it. And I don't think all of it has the same level of risk.
No, I don't think so either.
Similarly to rock, like, I think there's definitely going to be more risk in certain areas than other areas. So I'm sure there are people who are perfectly sane mountain climbers who are doing chill, vibey stuff with, you know, maybe a windstorm here and there.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean,
I
she like was, oh, sorry, go ahead.
no. I just think that I think the lady's approach was a little insensitive, and I think she probably should have told her she needs individual therapy.
Yeah. Because for sure I agree that like right, Melissa probably does need like therapy and she might have like some mental, I'm not going to say mental illness, but she might have some like, unaddressed mental concerns or mental well-being concerns and emotional well-being. But yeah. I don't know why that was just that tickled me, but yeah, I think that like I don't know what I was gonna say. Honestly, I lost my train of thought. But um but yeah, it was for sure like I think an overestimation and not accurate, but yeah. I guess what's interesting though is that I do feel like while I don't think that Melissa necessarily has mental illness, and I don't think that all mountaineers have mental illness, like I'm being like trying to be funny, but I'm not. I don't actually like do you like I it's not for me, but I totally respect the sport and people who have the like mental fortitude to do something like that. Um, but it is interesting because I do feel like Melissa's emotional state and like her mental and emotional well being are directly linked to mountaineering. So like no, I don't think that this is a mental illness for her, but I do think that there is like some sort of relationship. There is a relationship between like
Mhm.
this activity that she's choosing and like the state of her mental well-being. And I think there's something there worth exploring. Like I think that her desire to be a mountaineer might be rooted at least the level of extremity and like the intensity with which she does it there some of that might be rooted in like the trauma that she carries and like in her mental and emotional state. But yeah, her marriage is falling apart. But she chooses to stay checked out and focus on work instead. As she's traveling on expeditions, she can like feel the facade um, that she has crafted around her life start to really crumble and fall apart. And while she's in Nepal, um, planning a trip, she's doing a trip, an expedition with Glamour magazine.
Mhm.
And while she's in Nepal, preparing for this expedition or like, getting geared up and ready to go, there is a huge earthquake that devastates Nepal and it immediately cancels all of her climbing plans. And yeah, you had like a lot of thoughts on this.
Well, not so much a lot of thoughts,
Yeah.
but I think it's interesting because on the mountain, the earthquake wasn't that bad from their perspective,
Um,
but they had no real way to communicate to know how it affected folks in town. So they actually had to go to town and specifically Kathmandu, which I'm not pronouncing correctly, but
I
hey,
think you are actually.
oh, well, that place
Kathmandu, close
was like
enough.
seemed to be the main hub where they always would go and fly in and fly out of.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was absolute devastation. I know I wrote down that 19 people died, and
Did you do research on that or was that in the book?
it's in there.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know where, but I wrote it down.
Oh, I
And
see. Yes.
yeah, and yeah, others suffered head injuries, people lost limbs,
That's
trauma
really
from force
crazy.
of flying rocks, ice, and objects. And
Yeah.
that's because of this thing called a catastrophic air blast. Now, you have got to be kidding me. You want to tell me that we can have an earthquake, an avalanche, and an air blast
Yeah.
all in the same dang day? No, no, no.
Yeah.
This was the official nail in the I am never doing that thing coffin.
Yeah.
Like an air blast is a hurricane force wind that can precede an avalanche, creating equal devastation. So we're talking Earthquake, shake, 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 shake. Wind, smack in the face, ah, ah. And then avalanche, now you're buried. Like, what?
Hmm.
The
Yeah.
what? That,
Yeah.
you want to tell me that you come back? Like, obviously, this is kind of like, the end of this trip. Like,
Mm-hmm.
this attempt is a no-go.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't, how do you go back? Like, how? I need somebody to tell me. 19 plus 16 plus 1 plus 1, like all these bodies.
Yeah.
How?
I
How
know.
do you go back? Somebody mountaineering. Tell me. Is it
Yeah.
like a drug and you're just addicted and it's like, I gotta do it. I mean, I could barely go back to rock climbing after my fall. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to, but the fear was crippling. Like I
Hmm.
I I I, I still think it is. Like it's
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, but all I know is like that was wild.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, right. Like the whole time we've been talking about tragedy, it's been like, during, for the most part, the actual expedition, they're actually on the mountain, and like something tragic happens, an avalanche or ice fall or something like that. But it's like you don't even have to be on the mountain for tragedy to strike. You can be like in the region, in the vicinity, and you're still just like constantly exposed to death and tragedy. And yeah, it's just brutal. Like this was a rough
Yeah, and
chapter.
and then you go home and you say, I'm gonna do some light work in Alaska. We gonna do something chill.
Right,
And even that ain't chill. Like,
right.
mm-mm, no.
Yeah. That was so crazy to me. Yeah, so all the climbing plans are canceled. Like climbing season canceled at Everest or in Nepal. And she gets back home and she's decided that she wants to ask John for a divorce. And yeah, instead of doing that, she's like, I'm just going to go to Alaska. Like, we'll deal with this later. And right,
Not
thinks that it's
dealing with
going
my
to be
problems.
chill.
I'm gonna get back on a mountain.
Yeah, and she thinks, I'm climbing with the folks from Glamour. Where this is just going to be a reprieve. It's going to be a chance for us to just like bond and have like a light, chill trip, to recover from the intensity of what we just went through in Nepal. And yeah, that that expedition ended up failing as well. There's issues with weather. There's issues with navigation. They're running low on fuel and resources. And for me, it was like, it's like even the mountains are rejecting her and they're like, no, girl, take care of your stuff. Like, it feels like if the mountains were sentient, they are communicating with her, like, you can't be here until you deal with like the
Yeah.
things that you have to deal with. Like, all of this feels like it's like kind of coming to a head in a way.
Yeah,
So,
look, I listened to that podcast about climbing accidents
mm,
and I had never heard the word crevasse so much in my life until I listened to that podcast.
yeah.
And the fact that there are just these like things that collapse,
Mhm.
like you don't know if you're walking on solid surface or you're walking in between. Like I had to Google it. I was like, what is a crevasse? Like
Mhm.
what? This is
Yeah.
crazy. Like, and just like hearing all these stories of people being rescued out of these things, like,
Yeah.
go home. Go home, girl. Go
Yeah.
home and stop. Because it was like one thing to be in a obviously dangerous place. Now you somewhere that's supposed to be nice and chill, and that could have went south really fast.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Yeah.
I'm glad she went home.
I'm glad she went home. I feel like the mountains are trying to tell her something. And, for a long time, they were inviting her. They were telling her, come to us. Like, this is your home. And it sounds like now they are like telling her, leave. Like, you need to go. You need to
Deal
deal
with your
with
demons.
some things. Yeah. which is just, I don't know. I found that to be really, really interesting. Um, but yeah, it's like she's heading home and it's like she knows that she needs to heal. And I think she's been aware since the first chapter of this section, you know, I think, and maybe even before that, but she's been aware that like she needs to heal, she needs to like process and work through some stuff. And she sounds like she's trying to figure out how, but she just does not know how. But she takes what I think is like the first real step in that, which is just releasing this poor man, and telling him that she wants a divorce. And, you know, I think that she did it in a way that was kind of cold blooded. She just basically, you know, it's like, hey, I want a divorce. And he's like, kind of just like upset and frustrated and in a lot
Punches a
of pain.
wall like a good
Yeah.
old man likes to do.
But yeah, her response is just to emotionally shut down. And she's like, let's just talk about logistics. Like, I'm not trying to deal with your feelings. Let's just talk about how we're going to split up our things and like separate and let's just get it done with. And I don't know. That is so, that mentality and like emotional mindset is so interesting to me because as someone who is like a deep feeler, like, and like a deeply sensitive person and someone who like feels like big feelings, I just can't relate to being somebody who can like pack your feelings up, compartmentalize them in that way. And I think there's a happy medium. Like, I don't think that my way of being, like, I don't think that it's good to be as emotional as I can be. But I also don't think it's as good. I don't think it's great to be like as callous and cold as she is either. I think there's some happy medium. Like I wish I had a little of that. I wish I had a little bit of that compartmentalization. Um, it's like a skill that I'm working on. But yeah,
I think this was just a way to protect herself, you
yeah.
know.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
I think she feels the emotions. I do think she's long been checked out though.
Yeah,
So I think it's a little bit easier for her to let go,
right.
and because she has not been attached since almost the beginning. And so she spent years struggling with how to walk away.
Mm,
Um, so the emotionless part I feel, but I feel like even if she did have emotion and was upset, it would not have been about him.
right.
Just like her not having emotion isn't about him. Like
Yeah.
this is all a product of who this woman is.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I just think he can't really you're gonna take it personal. I mean, let's be real.
Yeah.
Any breakup, especially a marriage, is
Yeah.
gonna always make you feel the feels. But
Right.
I
And
think
yeah.
it's just a balance. It's a balance, but I don't, like I said, I don't, honestly, her showing emotion to me would have been more of a slap in the face because of the fact, and I don't know
Hmm.
exactly what he says, but
Yeah.
he says that she resisted his love and like nothing was enough. I don't know if that was verbatim or my own personal wording of it,
Close
but
enough.
based on my
Yeah.
notes, like that's what I put. And it is the truth. She did resist his love. For somebody who is so unlovable and feels unloved, she resisted it.
Yeah.
And if she was like, "Oh my God, I'm so sad," I'd be like, "Why are you sad? You did
Right.
this. Like you
Right.
created this."
True.
So I'm not even sure if that would have made him feel any better, to be
I mean,
honest.
yeah, you know, she don't got to be bawling, but she was stone faced. Like it sounded like she was like stone faced. Like,
Yeah, and I get that. I mean, yeah, to that point, she could have just wrote a letter, to be honest.
yeah, yeah,
But again, I just think it was just like, I don't know. I can't. I'm losing the word, but I think she was. It was just like protecting herself. Like, let me just
yeah,
keep it straight. I don't want to look weak in this moment. I
yeah,
tried to not even get to this moment, but here we are. So I
yeah.
want to control the moment.
Right. Yeah, I totally agree. And I agree that like I don't think that she is like emotionless, but that ability to just kind of like choose not to engage with those emotions is like I wish I had a little bit more of that, but I don't think I would want to be as good as compartmentalizing as she is, because I mean, it sounds like she's compartmentalized for so long that and so well that like that has kind of like brought her to where she is today, where everything is now falling apart, you know, because she didn't deal with the things as they came. um but you know, John, as bad as I feel for him, I'm also like, you're free.
Yeah, you're still
you
young. You're still young, man.
you're
Oh,
still young. It doesn't sound like you all have any kids, which simplifies, you know,
oh yeah, she was not gonna let that happen.
which simplifies the divorce process. And I mean, it sounds like he already got a shorty, so you know,
I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I know we need to wrap up.
But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of how that chapter ends. They are planning to get a divorce, and yeah, rather than grieving that loss, she kind of like stuffs her feelings down and packs for another trip to Nepal, or not to Nepal, but to Tibet instead, I guess, to maybe finish that summit that she didn't get a chance to do. Um, and yeah, that's kind of how our chapter ends. She's so close to actually healing, or actually like going through that process.
Which makes sense because we have one more part left.
Yeah,
So,
so maybe she will. But I keep just being like, something, give us more. But you know, I think this last section is really going to be like the real kind of like transformation. It sounds like she's had her breakthrough, and now she is just like,
ready
you
for
know,
an
entering
awakening.
transformation.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is part 4. Enough. This section was something. I feel like we could have talked about it for even longer, but yeah, thanks for sticking with us if you're still here. And yeah, next week we'll be doing part 5, the last part. So we hope to see you back there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for rocking with us. And, as always, check the show notes for how to connect with us and join our book club.
Yeah.
Let us know
Awesome.
what you want to read for
Yeah.
2026.
Cool. Yeah.
Books and Boulders, an adventure podcast produced by First Outdoor Company for climbers, readers, and everyone in between. Subscribe now and join the BB Book Club.